Good day. Welcome to printing fonts on fabric. Should have wrote this out first. Part one. Right guys, how's it going? So I'm going to do some printing today. We've just starting to come into the second lockdown now, or it all got announced earlier this or late last week. So yeah, we're going to get used to those print kits that you've got going on. We're doing some printing on fabrics. We've got some garden things we're going to be doing, or making some tote bags to kind of give some stuff away instead tote bags. So we're going to be doing a little bit of fonts. How to figure out that onto some wood cut. Well, I'm going to use wood cuts. I've got an old bit of MDF that I've been using loads. This works the same with lino. I'm going to be using the exact same tools. If you hadn't noticed, I'd already pre-shaved my head for lockdown, so yay! No weird beard this time though. Maybe soon to come. We're going to be figuring out how to print the fonts onto lino and get that onto some canvas tote bags or you can put it on t-shirts, whatever you want. So we'll start with that. So you're going to need to use some wood, or some lino you've got in your kits. You're going to need some tracing paper. You're going to need a logo or some form of writing, pens, or like a Sharpie pen to kind of draw onto it, so a pencil to make the transfer and do your design. And yeah, that's pretty much us sorted. Catch us in a second when I draw the logo. And we'll carry on printing fonts on fabrics with me. Right, catch us in a sec, guys. I'm going to draw this out. Boo! Right, so because I don't plan that far ahead, and I really should, I didn't kind of line out this fonts, but there's an easy fix to that. So I've got our quick font. See, it goes up at the end. It's alright, it's all kind of straight and level, and it might be a wise idea to do this anyway, is to get some scissors and cut out each word if you're going to make more than one word, is just so you can align it onto your plate a little bit better, and just so it's got kind of an even flow to it. You cut out each individual letter and kind of make your own little typography stamp things. That's good as well, but I'm not going to do that because I don't have I do have all the time in the world, but come at a later date. So what you've done is you've basically written onto forward ways onto your tracing paper. Now, when we print it, if you do know or you don't know, it'll flip every image that I've said before in the videos. All the images will flip. One sec, all the images will flip. So if you're going to do writing, you're going to have to write it backwards. Now, it's quite difficult to write backwards unless you're kind of really clever at that. I know that I'm not. So that's why I use the tracing paper technique. So you write it on forwards, flip the tracing paper, scribble it on the back, and then it should imprint onto your lino or wood backwards. It's just a kind of cheapy, easy way. You can do the same if you print it off. There's a kind of, and I'll do this at a later video, but there's a wood to glue to paper ratio, so you can print it off and then stick it onto the page and slowly scratch that away, and that'll make the imprint on where you can start doing your lino cuts. Pretty easy technique to do, but I figured we'd draw it first in case you didn't have printers around at home. You can cut this out, align up where you want things to be put on your plate, and I'm going to do that, speed it up, and then probably flip the camera down. As you notice, the camera will get closer and closer and closer to me throughout this video. So yeah, I'll do that, speed it up, get it ready onto the thingy-majiggery, what we're calling it, plate, wood cut plate, and yeah, we can get kind of printing. Cool. 2 seconds. I always forget where the camera is. There. Right. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this registration. You can't really see through the, I'll stick this on so you can. So I've just kind of stuck down this with masking tape, just so it doesn't move once I'm scribbling on the back. If this gets a bit closer, can you see that? Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that registration I've got going on there. And it's as simple as transferring onto lino with that lovely technique, or time-saving technique we'd figured from many moons ago. Once you've made the marks on one side, you don't need to go over the font or the lines again. You can just scribble and it should transfer over. I've used quite a thick pencil to do the inside line, or the line that's going to be over the top, and I'm using, I think it's a 2H pencil for this one, just to kind of really get those lines in onto the wood. So simply, guys, you're just scribbling over the back and hold it down so it doesn't move, and hopefully, because I've also stuck this down, yeah, it's come through there. If you see, just see a tiny little beat. Yeah, so that's come through. So I'm going to sit like this so you can see my face and scribble away. So yeah, the reason that we don't want this to move while we're transferring it, it just kind of makes it so it's a bit more kind of sturdy with the tape, so we can get a good outline, so we can transfer that across. What I will be using once I've got all these letters on is just a Sharpie to go over the top, because this is a font that I'm just going to be leaving the block capitals, or the bubble writing, whatever you want to call it. You don't need to kind of do it with a fine line around the outside. If you want to make a bigger font, and if you want to make a bigger font, and if you want to not do block letters and just have outlines, you'll need a finer pen, just to make it stick. It doesn't really matter as such if you do it on wood. You can use any type of kind of felt tip, because that shouldn't smudge. But if you're using lino when you're doing this, try and use like a Sharpie or a Posca pen that I've got there, something kind of permanent that'll stick on there. I'm gonna carry on with this, quit my rabbiting, and show you the finished product before we start kind of sorting it out with the pens and starting to cut. Okay, perfect. Catch you in a sec. Okay, so there we have it, guys. We have our, yeah, I'm looking at the screen here and it's actually the right way around because the camera's flipped, but it's not. So we've got Biker Kitchen garden there. So what I'm going to do is, or what I'd advise you to do is just to go around the outline just once more, and you can kind of get ready to start a cut. Like before, we're going to cover this with a bit of kind of paint, just so we know which lines we're cutting out, all the red bits we're cutting, all the kind of thin wash of watercolour. Then we can start getting this cut, okay? So catch you in 5 minutes or so, and then I can start to, do that. Or do the teach us how to print, because you know how to do it. Sign this slate. Ooh. Right, catch us in a sec. Hello, it's me again. Right, so what I've got is, I've got our lovely transferred, gone over with with like a permanent marker. I lied to you guys before, straight out of my mouth. I said if you can use some, any type of felt tip. If you're going to be covering it with paint, like I'm going to do and show you here, I wouldn't, because that might make the felt tip run and all your lines would kind of disappear or become quite blurred. So if you've got a permanent marker like a Sharpie or a Posca pen or any form of permanent marker, that's pretty cool to use. So basically what I've got is I've just got some watercolours. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to choose a nice red because I tend to use red when I do this. Just makes it stand out a little bit more. And you're just going to paint over the kind of your plate, just so you've got the kind of, I keep saying kind of again, just so you've got a colour, so you know with every cut you make, every move you make, every single day, every night you'll pray. Yeah, that thing. Every cut you make will come into this this plate, and the red will come away, so you know what you need to be cutting next. I'm going to be leaving the font standing out, so that's going to get the colour when I print it. So if you want to do the other way around, you're going to be cutting into the black and making that as the embossed part standing out. That just means that that's going to be white and the fabric around it will be coloured. So yeah, I'm just rabbiting while I'm painting this over. Doesn't need to be the Sistine Chapel, doesn't need to be amazing, just need to make sure that you've covered the paint. I should have done this green so it looks more gardeny, shouldn't I? But hindsight is always 20/20. Yeah, so, and it just looks a bit more evil now. Oh, come on. So it's just a thin layer of watercolour, just so when you start to cut, you know what you've got left to cut. Anything red needs to come out, or anything, whatever colour you've chosen, needs to come out, and whatever is black stays black. Okay, so simply that's how it looks. And it actually looks quite cool because, like I say, it's flipped to the way, so I know that's looking right. If you want to double check to see if it's right, we're going to get down with technology. You turn your camera onto selfie mode and you can take a picture, or you don't take a picture, but you can see it on the screen like it is on this. And yeah, that's what you're ready to cut. I'm going to go and get some cutting tools, and we'll do the brief health and safety thing of what we're doing while we're cutting. Just while this gives it another 5 minutes to dry off, I'll let the paint soak into the wood, so I'm not cutting on wet wood. And yeah, we'll get the party started then. Okay, so next thing you'll need is your lino tools or your wood cutting tools. I have them lovely here, and I'm going to unveil them because it makes me feel like Dexter when I do so. So, got all your lino tools here, some sharp knives. You're wanting to use, this is quite a deep cutter where you can, what you would have got in your kit, quite narrow, and that's going to be for the finer lines. We're going to use a broader one there for the bigger cuts, so we can kind of take off a lot more surface area, so it's not really small and fiddly, and this to take off or just smoothing off the surface, just use it to scratch away the top. If you want to be using your wood cutting tools, feel free to do that, and make sure they're super sharp. And yeah, let's get cutting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is the point when you need to have a cuppa, or the dregs of a cuppa, and it's going to take quite a while to do this, as always. So what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to quickly talk you through how we're doing this. For those of you who've seen the other videos, when I did the other side, the carrot print, there's a lot more in depth of how you can use this and cut away from yourself, and the techniques you can use on that video. If you want to give that a watch, I'll stick it on the forum. I'll put a link with this on the forum. Yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to start with your finest tool, which is our deepest one. Okay, this one. And what I will do actually is I'll make a quick video tomorrow or maybe the day after of how to make a kind of a board for yourself to be able to, so it's as safe as possible for you using your lino or whenever you're cutting. As always, guys, you need to be cutting away from yourself. You don't want to be holding the plate here so it doesn't slide, because if you cut and you slip, it's going to go into your fingers, and you're probably going to you're going to cut that and it's not going to be grand. So always cut away from yourself, and yeah, we're gonna get this sorted. Like I said, we're gonna take away every bit that's red on here, which is pretty much anything but the font. We're gonna make the font stand out, and that's gonna be the color of the print. So whatever color I decide to do, I'd probably just use black for now because it's a simple thing to use. And I'm going to be printing onto the fabric, onto said tote bags, which I don't know where I've put now. I definitely had it somewhere. We're going to stick them onto a tote bag, both with an image that we've drawn, which for me is going to be this carrot, and some fonts on there as well. Yeah, so what we're going to do is you're going to be keeping your hand constantly behind your where you're cutting. You're going to be cutting away from yourself. You can move the board round, so you're always cutting away from yourself. Inadvertently, this old bit of wood has a little handle there for me, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, to wrap it up, to what you'll be doing is you'll need a block at the front so it doesn't slide forward, and something to secure it to the table. I will do a quick video on that, I think, for just to keep you as safe as possible while we're doing it. So yeah, basically guys, you're going to be following the red lines or the red markings and just cutting them away, getting as close as possible to the to your lettering that you've made. Try not to go over it, but if you do, you can kind of clean it up with just take a little bit more, a little bit less away, just to kind of give it the font that you want. It doesn't matter if you do go over, it'll just take a little bit more off, as long as you still have the basics of your font or your text that you've been writing. So to summarise, yeah, cut away from yourself. The writing needs to be backwards, and yeah, and make sure that you're keeping a good grip on your board behind where you're cutting from, okay? Because definitely don't want to be going forward. I will put a link into the for the other video if you want to have a proper watch of that. This is going to take a while, so that's the basics of getting the keep saying air again, getting the fonts on and getting them transferred and getting them ready to cut. So just keep working at it, keep cutting away from yourself, and yeah, get this all cut out so the font is standing up from the page or from the plate. I'll use this at the top just to show you the other bits. So you've got your thinner, which just takes up a bigger surface area, as you can see. And once if you've got these, say, two lines together, what you can do is you can use this tool. This probably got a very special name, but I'll just call it the thingy-majiggery tool, just to take off and smoothen off the surface, okay? And then you get a big cut there, which is a lot bigger than the ones that you're making with the smaller things. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, for this video. It's going to be in 2 parts, so catch the other one in a couple of days maybe, which will be getting these prints onto the canvas bag or t-shirt or whatever you're going to be printing onto. I'm going to spend some time cutting this out because it's going to take forever. I will have, I'll put a bit on the next video that's got me cutting out and kind of progress while going through, as a kind of introduction, if you will, or a flashback. This is what we did earlier. Yeah, as always, guys, it's been absolutely class seniors. I know lockdown starts again it's nationwide next week, or whenever you'll be watching this might be already happening. But stay strong through it, guys. I know it's going to be tough, especially with the daylight hours kind of getting, or daytime hours getting a lot shorter. But that's what we've got these activities to be doing, keeping ourselves sane and keeping ourselves kind of creative and productive. This is going to be, yeah, I'm going to do a few of these on printmaking, and I'm going to do a few more to help keep us having activities. Dom, speak. So yeah, it's again seeing you guys online, seeing the work you're doing, and hopefully we can get some more things delivered out to you so you can have a bit more creativity, whether or not that's ceramics, garden, watercolour, whatever we've got going. Yeah, hopefully it'll all be grand, and have an awesome time, guys. Super proud, and I'll catch you, and keep uploading your work. even if it's a so far so good video, just keep us updated and see what you're doing. If you need any help, give us a shout in the on the forum or in the comments or whatever we're doing it. And yeah, peace out. Stay safe and yeah, get creating. See you in a bit, guys. Bye.